A pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report. This is season number 3, episode number 20 for the 26th day of February. It's hard to imagine that we have cruised through February already. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry. My broadcast partner for the ACU football team, Ed Cole, is my co-host, and we'll be joined on the main stage today. We're going to talk a little basketball in our first segment. We'll be joined by Emery Young and Sam Buckley. Talk a little round ball for ACU as their basketball team won yet again. They clinched the conference over the weekend with a significant win, and they are now 4-time conference champions. So we'll talk a little basketball with the fellas. We'll also talk some track with men and women's track coach Brian Bell will join us here. We'll talk about the finished up outdoor season as we roll into the indoor campaign, or vice versa, if you like to talk about it that way. We'll talk a little outdoor and then indoor. Whatever you like, Ed. We'll talk a little track today with Coach Bell.
Sure.
And then, of course, we're going to talk a little softball. You got to take it to the diamond, and we're definitely going to take it to the pitcher circle as Savannah Smith will be on the program with her backstop, her catcher, Miranda Hippolito will also join us. Miranda bringing out the thump this year with the stick, but she's also been the catcher on a no-hitter. So we're going to talk about Savannah and the performance of Mike Maben's team, talking a little softball. Without further ado, Ed, my friend, how are you? Welcome in.
KD, good evening. Fellows, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
To my left, my immediate left, Emery Young out of Centennial High School, and then Sam Buckley. To his left. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Doing good.
Congratulations on the victory over the weekend. Nothing like taking care of business, and then with that business being taken care of, you clinched the GSAC title for the 4th consecutive time. You guys are part of that for the first time, but congratulations. What's that feeling like to be part of a winner? Emery?
It feels great. Coming from a winning program as well in high school, it's kind of like you're used to it almost, and to still continue that, feels good. What about you, Sam?
It's a little different for me. In high school, we didn't really do much winning, so it was kind of cool and neat to be part of that experience here. And what really felt amazing about it was like another day at the office. Like, back home, if we would have won one, it would have been crazy. But today, it felt like when we won, it was like
routine.
This is routine. Like, expect this every year. So
that's pretty cool. EY is kind of humble. He didn't tell you about it, but he won a state championship with Randy Lavender at Centennial just a couple of years back. And in that final game, 14-10 for EY. So big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games, and that's what Emery Young did. But it's nice to have Sam here, too. And he was just revealing that he was a pitcher in baseball. So right now, Sam's at 7'1". So we figure in high school when he was 18 or something, he was about 6'10", throwing gas. So good to have you here, Sam, part of the program.
Thank you.
Ed?
Sam, what is it about ACU that attracted you from Bethalto, Illinois? Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you see from ACU when you were kind of scouting out schools and you said, okay, I want to go to Glendale, I want to play for the Firestorm, I want to play for Coach Rudder and the Firestorm?
Yeah, so my recruiting was very weird. I didn't really do much for it. It was just local D3s. And then I played one AAU season with Gateway Knights out of St. Louis. And so I came down here in the first ever tournament I played in. Coach Peters sent me a text and was like, hey, like, we're really interested. And so after following up with him and just going through everything and talking about the program, I was like, this is a perfect fit for me. Especially going to church on Sunday every day with the family. And so I really didn't think there would be a better fit anywhere else.
And, of course, being a part of a successful program that's won 3 GSAC tournaments, championships before you got here, I'm sure that kind of success kind of attracted you to the program too, right?
Yeah, it was different for sure, because that was the one thing I was looking for. In high school, I was like, I had my individual success, but I really wanted to be part of a team and something bigger. And so that's what ACU brings in the men's basketball side. So.
Sam, we mentioned your basketball prowess, certainly, and obviously you pitched a little bit and had success on the mound. But I'm curious, you also played some golf, too. What kind of led you to basketball besides your height? We get that, but was you had the love for those other sports. What drew you into basketball?
So my mom is a Hall of Famer at Blackburn College. It's a D3, and then my uncle played at Eastern Illinois. So that's kind of where my background started, just kind of shooting hoops with them in the yard. And then it was really my sister, watching her play in high school. I was like, I got into it, and so basketball was always my thing.
Hall of Fame pedigree, Ed.
Yep.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not. So, Emery, for you just staying in your backyard pretty much from Peoria, just coming over here to Glendale. What did you see in ACU that attracted you to come here to the Firestorm?
Well, growing up, I always been a part of ACU, I would say, because my trainer, Talib, he used to play here. So I used to always be around certain players, him. And I kind of just want to stay home more, too, with my recruitment. I mean, I had some schools out of state, but I also want to stay home, close to my family, and also grow my faith a little bit more. So I feel like ACU was a right fit for me as a basketball player, but more importantly as a person and a student. So, yeah.
Emery's talked about the late, great Talib Ukdal, one of the finest shooters that we've ever seen on this campus, and certainly had a grand time watching Talib watch his game and him develop as a father and a coach and all those things. So it's interesting that you would bring up Talib in that way, and he obviously left a mark on you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I spent many years with him training. More than just basketball, too. He kind of helped me as a person as well, so it meant a lot to me staying home at ACU.
How do you evaluate your first year? Certainly a lot of team success, but as far as you fitting in individually, how do things go for you, Emery?
His first year is like a trial and error. You kind of find your role, especially as a freshman. You have like a small room era, so you kind of have to go out there, play hard at all times, and rarely make mistakes, but it's part of basketball. You make mistakes. So it's just how you respond to things. The little things matter the most, like charges and stuff, the one more pass. So kind of just doing other things to separate yourself and to grow your role as a player. So
the margin of error you refer to, razor thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to ask Sam. So the limited minutes you get in the games this season, how important is it to maximize every minute that you get when you're out there on the court?
It's very important. I mean, if you get an opportunity to play and you don't play your hardest and it's noticeable, then, I mean, you're not going to play. So just taking that opportunity and using it to the full potential that you get, that's the biggest thing.
Emery, I want to go back to Centennial for just a second. 1,000 points, 1,000 career points. We just saw Dennis Flores do that, and we've had others do that. 19 guys here at ACU have
Paul Hayden did it.
1,000. Of course, Paul Hayden did it earlier this year. But just when you accomplish something like that at the high school level and you prepare yourself for the next level, that's quite an accomplishment. As you take that momentum into the college ranks, what's it like being a prolific scorer?
It's good, but I think more as a college player, I'm not going to be more as a scorer. I'll probably be more as just a role player. I mean, obviously anybody can score at this level, so you're just trying to do other things that other players kind of lacking, I would say. Just pick up the extra slack and not worry. Just put scoring on the back burner for a little bit.
I often refer to guys that come off the bench like you and Lorenzo Wright and others like that as the stuntman on the team. So when you come in, what do you think your role is? Are you there to grab some boards, like you say, take a charge? Yeah, what do you think your role is on this team?
Just come in, shoot the ball with confidence, get stops on defense, make the right decisions, hustle for loose balls, take charges. So kind of be an energy guy as well.
Let's win those 50-50 balls, Ed.
That's right. And Sam, for you, 7'1", 215. What do you like to do for with that kind of size to when you're out there in the court? What do you like to do do you bang, or are you a guy that hits the glass? What do you like to do?
Pick and pop all day, every day.
So he's a shooter.
Yeah.
He's a scorer.
Yeah.
All right.
It was like everybody just assumes that being 7'1", like you're gonna only be able to play in the post, or like especially with my size, like I'm kind of like on the skinnier side of things. So I was always that way. So I always knew that perimeter, I would have to be good on the perimeter. So it was just getting shots up, and then I really dialed it in. And so pick and pop right now is my thing, and the opportunities that I get. But I'm hoping to expand on that in the years to come.
And we know how important defense is to Coach Rudder. So I'm sure defense is another one of those things that you're learning in this system, right?
Oh, yeah. In high school, I was on the other teams guy that couldn't shoot, and then I was just protecting the rim, getting blocks, pinning people off the glass, which I always thought was fun. But now I look back on it and I was like, I wish I would have guarded guards, like, because you have to be able to do that at this level. And so I'm learning that right now, and so locking in on that will be very important for next year.
Sam, what's your position? Are the language and the vernacular changes in the game of basketball over the years? Are you in that stretch 4, stretch 5 category as a 7'1", 215 shooter? Euro style, maybe?
In my opinion, I could play 5'4". Like, I could be the forward that you like. Let's say Bill's out there. I could be the forward that is pick and pop and spacing the floor, or I could be the big in there making plays out of the post. So I think
versatility.
Yeah, versatility. I could be either or. So.
Agree 100%.
Emery, being a freshman, how open has Coach Rudder and the coaching staff and your brothers, the upperclassmen, been toward you if you have ideas and things that you want to inject into the offensive side of things or defensive side of things, or if you're in practice, you see things, you kind of want to point out things that you think needs correction or some things that you want to add to your preparation for, say, for the GSAC tournament coming up this weekend? How open are everybody to listen to you and to Sam when you guys are kind of newbies at this thing in this program?
I feel like they're all open to listen to us. I mean, we're all here for one reason, is to win. So everybody here wants to win. So I think everybody would just listen to us. And even though we're still young, we still have basketball knowledge, IQ. Sometimes they don't see certain things that we see from the bench, so we just point them out to them, and they take into consideration. So
that's cohesion at its finest, right?
That is chemistry.
That. Everybody on the bench working and pulling for the same goal. That's phenomenal. I'm curious. You guys are going to go back to Fullerton here next weekend, this coming up weekend, and you'll go back into the gym. Darling Pavilion, and last time you guys were there, you played a game that was triple overtime. You came away with a dub, 119-111. Emery, what were some of those takeaways that you remember from that night?
It was a long game, a very long game. Just sitting on that bench, you thought it was never going to end. You think we would pull away or the other team would pull away, and it would just be neck and neck the whole game. I think one of the main takeaways for us as a team is that we can finish games out stronger. We kind of let that gap, like the door, open towards the end of the regulation, so that's why I went into triple overtime.
Was there any shots or plays or dunks or blocks or passes, anything that you guys remember that kind of fueled you that night?
It was really like Paul. Paul came out hot.
33 points is pretty good.
Yeah, Paul came out hot, and then towards the end he got hot again, and so Paul really kept us in that game to get us to triple overtime to win. And I think scoring at that gym for us is not the problem. It was getting stops, and we couldn't get stops. So
when somebody's in the zone like that, like Paul was that night, what's the emphasis with the starters, if you will, like for Dennis Flowers and T. Hud and those guys? Is there talk in the huddle or timeouts, let's start feeding Paul, or is it just a natural ebb and flow that we know he's red hot, let's just keep getting him the rock? What's the mindset like there, Sam?
I would say it's like we all know who's hot. And we're all pretty cohesive on that. Like everybody's very good at reading who's doing their thing, and it's their time to dominate. So that gets pointed out very quickly, and it gets executed.
So Sam, you'll play either Jessup or OUAZ, depending on what happens on Thursday night. You'll play them on Friday night. Obviously, you played them a couple times this year, so you know both of these basketball teams. Is the preparation any different for them, knowing that you played them a couple times and you know their tendencies, and of course they're going to prepare for you differently? There may be some things that you may have some things up your sleeve, some things differently that you would have had compared to the other previous games that you had for them.
I would say for these games coming up, it's very big on just taking away what they want to do. Not letting them get to their right hand if they're right-handed, not letting them get it to their left hand pull up. I think that's the biggest factor for us coming in these games this weekend. And if we can take away what they want to do, then our defense will be solid.
Gentlemen, the next level is playoff basketball, and this team has been playing big basketball games for a long time. Do you feel like you have an edge with the momentum that you're heading into this second season with? It seems like that you might be playing, as a group, your best basketball of the year at this point in time. What are your thoughts there? Sam Buckley.
I would say that one thing I've noticed is everybody's kind of starting to play like how they are capable of. Mm-hmm. Like Dennis has been going off these last couple of games. Trent's been going off. Bill's been going off. I mean, we have a ton of guys right now that you can point out in these last 5 to 7 games. They're like, all right, they're doing good. They're doing good. And if we keep that rolling and we have those 5 to 7 guys that show up, we're so versatile. So,
if I could go back to the beginning of the season, and I think we do a Midnight Madness or something like that at certain points of the year, do something kind of preseason wise. There was a dunk contest. Did you guys participate in the dunk contest?
No.
No. So is that invite only or what?
For me, it was.
I didn't get an invite. No, I didn't.
7-1. I mean, I'm sure that Sam Buckley can put it down in some way, shape, or form. If you guys were to have a dunk contest tomorrow for fun, right here inside the AC Event Center, who would be the odds-on favorite to win that dunk contest? Tucker Molina.
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
All right. Tucker or Mike?
Okay.
Nice.
It's Tucker or Mike?
Yeah.
I'll say Tucker or Mike.
Micah Blackwell?
Micah?
Yeah.
Micah B.
I can see Micah doing it.
Oh, he's got the bounce.
Mm-hmm.
But Tucker, he's long, lanky, athletic. He's an underrated shot blocker.
Yeah, very.
For Sam, someone that blocked some shots in your time, what do you think about those guys as far as defensively? Micah Blackwell, certainly his claim to fame, he's the GSAC Defensive Player of the Year last season, but he's got the bounce. He can get up there, and he's a rim protector too, but he can swat them.
Yeah. Micah and Tucker on defense are so fun to watch because they know when to wall up and they know when to go get it. And so
wall up. That's a new term. Mm-hmm. Wall up, Ed.
Yeah. It's basically they're very smart on knowing when they can go swat it or they can just put their body between a player and the basket and not letting them get to it. Mm-hmm. So they're very good, very smart basketball players.
I like that. Wall up.
This is a cerebral group. There's no doubt about that. And to your point, T-Hud, he's been he's been insane good, like white hot. He's been absolutely incredible. And Dennis Foggs III, congratulations, D. He surpassed 1,000 points at ACU, over 1,500 in his career, too, when you combine that with his experience at Carroll College. Gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Go get some jewelry. Go get another GSAC conference ring, championship ring, and then go get the big one, that NAIA National Championship ring, because Arizona Christian will be a participant for the 10th time in the program's history. So that's remarkable. And congratulations to Coach Rutter for outstanding. In fact, the entire staff deserves a ton of praise. Gentlemen, we thank you. We're going to turn our attention to a little men's and women's track team. We're going to talk to B Squared. Brian Bell will join us on the main stage. Don't go away. We welcome you back inside the Tower Grill here on the campus of Arizona Christian University as we continue the Storm Report for season number 3, episode number 20. Special thank you to the fellows, Sam Buckley and Emery Young. Those guys were fantastic. We had a lot of fun with them. But Brian Bell now on the main stage, and he is the men's and women's track coach. And first thing we're going to start off with Coach Bell is the kicks. He's sporting some pretty legit kicks. They're red shoes. They're Under Armour, and he's looking the part with them. Coach, tell us about the shoes. Is that a team shoe, or does it just happen to be a coincidence that it's red?
No,
Firestorm red.
No,
almost.
I'll be honest. I went to a conference, and the coach from Wisconsin had a pair. I was like, man, those are some good-looking shoes. They make a statement. I went on Amazon. Did what most people do. They were waiting for me when I got back to Arizona. And,
Amazon
yeah.
overnight,
yeah.
right?
Yep. Yeah, overnight. And they get a lot of comments from the young people, so I'm like, okay, this is the right direction to go.
They move the needle even,
Yeah,
the shoes.
yeah. I'm only partially lame now.
Well, do they say you're lit, coach, or what do the young folks say?
I think fresh.
Fresh.
I'm trying to think. There was
They
another.
still use fresh?
Yeah, there was
They say,
another
those are
term.
dope.
One of the girls said. I was like, oh yeah. I forget what it was, but it was.
Okay.
I think it might have been a compliment.
Wow, they still use the word fresh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you got to be ecstatic because here you are. You break out the shoes here on the set, and the first thing we do is we recognize as you make your
Yeah.
stroll here.
Yes.
Let's talk about the kicks, man.
Yeah. Something about it. The athletic director noticed them too, so I was like, oh, red shoes. Who knew?
Dr. Dryer or assistant AD?
Dr. Dreyer did.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's when you say doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
Dr. Dryer doesn't miss anything.
He doesn't miss anything. Yeah.
Nope.
Well, it's track season. We're still in the middle of track season. How are things going for you, Coach? It's been a while since we last
Yeah.
chatted.
No, things are going great. We just wrapped up our indoor season February 10th.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah,
Indoor.
we did 5 indoor events. It was the first time, I think, according to Mr. Baker, that we've had a full indoor season where we had 30-plus athletes get certified as a season of completion. But more exciting to me, we use indoor as kind of our spring training, but we want to come out of indoor season sharp, ready to start, because our outdoor season is only about 7 weeks long.
Okay.
And so, yeah, our women's team, I think we had 13 girls have a top 10 all-time performance in one of their events and about 25 personal records. And on the guys' side, I think we had 11 men have top 10 all-time ACU performances and about 30 personal records set. So a lot of fresh ink in the record books for our men's and women's teams, which is exciting to us.
Very good. When you look at the expectations of the season and when it started and then where you are today, where are you in relationship to those expectations?
Excuse me. I think we
don't have a cough button. That would be coming handy right there. Boop.
Yep.
Boop. So I apologize for that.
We're right where we hoped we would be. I mean, we set the goal for the men to be conference champions, and
Okay.
I think we're close. I think it's going to be down to us and Masters University when we get to the end of the season.
All right.
On the ladies' side, we set the goal of finishing third overall in the conference this year. 2 years ago, they were sixth. Last year, they were fifth. Said, hey, if we get to third this year, and then the ultimate goal is next year. Project 25 is for both the men's and women's team to be conference champions in the same season. So we're right on path. We had a couple athletes that we thought would be here that would have helped us. But the thing I love about track and field is somebody always steps up. So it's exciting to see. But we're right where we hoped we'd be.
And, Coach, how exciting is it? You mentioned all the achievements, personal bests, and all these numbers, all these top tens, and all, the ladies and the men doing so many great achievements as you come to the end of the outdoor season. What does it mean to see them achieve and continue to run and do whatever particular event or whatever they specialize in, they do it at a high level?
Yeah, I think two things. One is I think it gives them confidence in their decision to come to Arizona Christian University, and I think it gives them confidence in our coaching staff that they come in as either high school athletes or junior college or D2 transfers, and they get here, and I think it's a voyage of discovery for them. And so to get to the end of indoor season and go, wow, I've never run this fast or jumped this high or thrown something this far. This was a good choice for me athletically. So it's just very satisfying. I think it gives them confidence in themselves and in the coaching staff. And I think it's built some cohesion. Like, being successful is infectious. People start to see and go, wow, everybody else is starting to crush it here. I better elevate my game here a little bit. So
that's impressive, Kev, that these young ladies and young men can just do that at a high level consistently.
Without question. It's been a remarkable campaign at the start of it. Ed kind of alluded to about 30 personal bests. I think you said something like 25. And Payne Moses did a nice piece a couple weeks back. 30 personal bests. I mean, that's a nice foundation to work on. 11 top 10 performances. I'm curious, a lot of times multi-sport athletes will use track to help them help you in the track program, but also help them in another arena. Do you see multi-sport athletes here at ACU?
Yeah, we've got a few. It's interesting. Alonzo Paul is a sprinter. He's here on a track and field scholarship, who is also on the men's basketball team.
He's a hooper.
He's a hooper, and he's a great
like right here.
Yes, he's like
blonde
the
hair.
Spud Webb of ACU.
Yes.
Yes. So, and I think both, it's been complimentary. He got a lot of early season stuff with us, August through September, October, and then got a tryout with the team and just kept getting bumped up the chain in our basketball program. Got a couple football players that are sprinters. I've had a lot of other athletes that are here that did track in high school that come and talk to me, hey, coach, I did this. I say, hey, look, come out to the track and we'll do a tryout. And I think what a lot of them will find is like, oh, wow, yeah, this is the next level. Maybe I'm not as fast. But we open it up, both men's and women's. So we've got, and I'm always excited when the women's basketball season ends.
Okay.
Because there's usually 3 or 4 really good track and field athletes on the ladies team that come over and help us out. So we're excited about them coming soon.
Coach Bell, I want to give you the encouragement. This is a name dropping type program, so you can drop some names like other athletes or whatnot. We'll take it up. So, I'll pick them up. If we need to.
So Kayla Horgan, women's basketball team,
All
is
right.
one of the best female throwers in our conference. Teresa Moore comes over and helps us with hurdles. Very good. We're excited about that. We just picked up, in fact, today, Tarvis Edwards, a basketball player, was at practice for the first time. So we got a few of the hoopsters come out and really help us during track season, a couple of football players.
I got to think Alonzo Paul was one of the best guys in shape heading into the arena when it came time to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's fast. He's going to set some records on the track while he's here.
Okay. He's got some quicks.
Yeah.
Coach, here's a simple question. What's the preparation like outdoors as opposed to indoors? Is it much different for the athletes to prepare for two different types of setups and locations and just different atmospheres and surroundings?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Some of the indoor tracks they're all much shorter. Instead of going 400-meter track, it's 200 meters or less. So shorter, tighter turns. So you can really open up and get some speed going when you're in these outdoor arenas. The distances and the events, there's also, so for indoor, the distances tend to be a little bit shorter. Like instead of a 100-meter sprint, it's a 60-meter sprint, 60-meter hurdle. And then like the throws, they only throw the shot put because you're indoors. If you throw a discus or a javelin, it might hurt somebody. So they get excited about, okay, now we get to move outdoors and really kind of open things up. But a lot of the training is the same. What we do in the weight room, what we do at the track is similar, but what they get to compete in and again, everything was building. I just liken it to baseball. It's like spring training is over. We have everybody is sharp and ready to go. Yeah.
And, of course, everybody's physically ready, but would you say it's more of a mental thing where they have to switch to, as you mentioned, everything's a lot more compressed indoors as opposed to outdoors? Now the young men and young ladies know that, okay, like you said, we can open it up more, but when we go indoors, we got to kind of tighten it up a little bit because we know our physical abilities, but we've got to shorten it up just a little bit because of the limitations.
Yeah, I think they get excited about outdoor because it's familiar. Very few high school athletes could compete indoors. So for them, it's like, okay, now this feels normal. This is exciting. So they really.
Ed had made a reference to the differences between the two seasons, if you will. I'm curious, when it comes to the track surface, are the surfaces all the same? Is there a code or some spongier surfaces than others? Is there such thing as a fast track and track?
Yes. So yes, different surfaces are faster than others, and some indoor arenas, the surface is more almost like an indoor-outdoor carpet. Okay. Some are more.
So it's materials.
Yes, yeah. So it is. And again, getting back to outdoor can be much faster. The track surface. In fact, we're traveling to Riverside City College Friday, and they just got done resurfacing their track. So we're excited to see. So usually, when it's a new surface, it's faster.
Now, do new surfaces pose any challenge as far as slickness or needing to be broke in or anything silly like that?
Yeah.
Or do the athletes have to bring different pairs of shoes depending on the surfaces? How does that pack with what you travel with?
Yeah, no, the only difference is whoever owns that track is usually very specific about you can only have, a 1/4-inch pyramid-shaped spikes, and we're going to check everybody before they even get inside the gate to make sure they're not bringing.
They don't want anybody destroying,
tearing up their new track.
Tearing up their track,
which totally makes sense.
Yeah, you spend a lot of money on that track.
You can understand that.
Yes, that's reasonable.
You put a lot of money into it, yeah.
Coach Bell, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, what do you expect at Riverside? Now that we've had this little breather, you're practicing hard. Are you having good results in those practice sessions?
Yeah, I think what I expect at Riverside is for our throwers, the men and women that throw the shot put, the discus, the javelin, the hammer. I expect them to set some records.
Okay.
I'm excited to see what our hurdlers and sprinters do. We've got a couple jumpers. Jace Carrasquillo he's an all-conference high jumper and long jumper. So I'm excited. I think we've had about a 3-week block coming out of indoor where people have been able to train hard, work on technique. So I'm excited to see. I think we're going to see more records. Yeah.
Coach, I'm always curious of the exposure, like how you're introduced to track and then how you grow within the sport and how it attracts the newer athletes, because we live in a society where there's a lot of video games that are making the rave, right? There's people like the idea of the less is more, but in the wrong way, if that makes any sense at all. How is it now when it comes to recruiting and then attracting new athletes in your sport?
Yeah. I think it's a lot of things as far as exposure. The Olympics every 4 years really helps. I mean, I go back to my experience, 1984 Olympics. I was living in Oregon. It was in Los Angeles. It was like just captivated. I was a young guy in high school. That really captivated my imagination. Track and field is the number one participation sport for high school athletes in America. Okay. So I always say, hey, this is the biggest sport for high school athletes. 6% of them will go on and do it in college. I'm just grateful for all these high school coaches that are out there that are beating the bushes, making the football players and the basketball players all come out for the track team. So I think that's where we get a lot of the exposure. What I find, this generation, they're very kind of community-minded, collaborative. Okay. And so track and field is one of those sports where it's like, oh, yeah, we can be this odd collection of big, tall people that can jump high, short, large people that can throw heavy things, fast people. It reminds me of a platoon in the Marine Corps. It's like you have this diverse group of people, but we all come together and work towards a common goal.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So. As soon as we step off that bus on those yellow footprints, you remember that, Coach?
Yeah. So
yeah.
Well, when you go back to the Olympics, we talked about the Olympics last time I think you were on, and immediately for me, it just goes back. I go back to '84. We go to Carl Lewis, Edwin Moses, all those. Mm-hmm. That was a time, right? What a time to be alive now in 2024. But at the same token, if you were around during those Olympic days, that was some incredible viewing.
Oh, yeah.
The Olympics were really well done back then. It wasn't crazy where we're streaming stuff, and if you want to watch tonight's gold medal round, you got to buy another service. It was like NBC. We were locked in for nights on end, and we were watching the best athletes in the world, and it was amazing TV.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see the Paris Olympics this summer, how it shakes out and the response. But worldwide track is booming. In the U.S., we got a lot. Football is king, and so it's always trying to find ways to introduce people to the sport.
Coach, has the sport changed much at all? I mean, it's running, jumping, and throwing with other things mixed in, but has it progressed or changed much over the decades that you've been in it?
I think the like a lot of sports, the emphasis has gotten more scientific engineering, like the track surfaces and the super shoes and the diet and nutrition. But I think at the end of the day, I look at what guys from New Zealand could run in the early 60s on a cinder track in bowling shoes, and they would beat people nowadays. So it's interesting that the technology is much better. There's a lot of sophisticated training and advancements, but at the end of the day, I think the human being and advanced human performance, it's 75% with your body and about 25% between your ears.
Still all about the human aspect,
That's
right, Coach?
Yeah, him. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, those athletes that you refer to, the bowling shoes, and would run that far away, maybe you're embellishing, but maybe you're not. The reality is that those were some different type of athletes. They were wired differently. Mm-hmm. And now we run into a couch society. It's kick back.
Yes.
So the work ethic is different. It
Yes.
might be still strong,
Yes.
but it's just
Yeah.
different in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So, soft is what I was thinking, but not our guys, not our athletes. Just saying the idea, the premise is that it's kind of soft sometimes. So you can imagine what you could accomplish when you put your mind to it,
Yes.
whatever conditions and circumstances you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
E?
I'm good.
That's it for Coach Bell.
That's it for Coach.
And parting, Coach, how about a comment for your lovely bride, Dawn?
Yeah.
And then how about this? 7 children. Let's begin with Austin, Andrew, Samuel, Georgia, Lillian, Joseph, and Julia. Have we forgot anybody?
Nope. That's them.
3 grandsons. I don't have their names. Do you want to name them?
Yeah. It's Elliot, Josiah, and Max.
Elliot, Josiah, and Max. I bring this up because I am a first-time grandfather. I am Pops for the first time.
Yeah.
Jackson Riggs is my grandson's name, so I'm kind of pumped up. I'm called Pops.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
different, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, so 2 things. Shout out to my wife. She's the better 2/3 in our relationship. We've been married almost 35 years. She knows I absolutely adore her. And I used to make fun of people that were like these over-the-top grandparents, like, oh, my grandkid. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm never going to be like that.
I hope
and
you
then,
don't do it, Coach.
Well, then we had grandsons, and they like come over and like, Papa, let's go watch Iron Man. Like, I'm down. Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's go.
Hey, let's go hit some baseballs. Let's
go.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Iron Man.
That
There
is
you
so
go. Iron
cool.
Man with Papa. Sign me up for
That's
that.
awesome.
That's Brian Bell, and we have enjoyed our conversation with BB. And so, good luck the rest of the way, Coach.
right.
And
Absolutely,
do come
Coach.
back and share with us, how things turned out.
Okay.
We start this conversation, this narrative. We don't get the answers all the time. So stay close to us and let us know how things are going.
Absolutely. Will do.
It's our appreciation.
Thank you, Devil
Brian
Dog.
Bell, our guest.
All right,
We're
thank
going
Hoorah.
to take it to the pitcher's circle. We're going to start on the diamond with Savannah, and we're going to talk with Miranda. They'll both be with us on the show. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk some softball right after this. Once again, we welcome you back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report. This is episode number 20, and we're going to take it to the diamond. We're going to talk a little softball with these young ladies to my left, and Savannah Smith is to my immediate left, and of course Miranda Hippolito, the home run leader on this ball club, is she's also here, and we're going to talk with Miranda hitting a 3 spot currently right now. But we got to start with Savannah. Savannah Smith, does that ring a bell? No,
Yeah,
no.
a little bit.
Are you getting some new attention with this? You've always been a great competitor. You've always been a fantastic pitcher. You get people out, and that's what we're looking for. But describe the moment: 13 punches, and you win the game in 5 innings, and you knock off La Sierra. But they had no hits. None, 0. What was that experience like for you? And, of course, your catcher, were you catching that game, assuming you were?
Yeah, she was, yeah.
Okay, that's why we have the pitching battery here. So,
right.
So take us through that moment through both of your lens. First, Savannah, we'll start with you, and then Miranda, as the catcher who called that game, give us your explanation through your lens as well. Go ahead, Savannah.
Yeah, obviously it was super awesome. I try not to think so much about it while I'm going through. I was just playing the game, and then
Right.
Our offense was dominating, of course. So it was a fun moment, but I was trying not to be oh, no hitter in my mind. I was just let me just pitch the ball, see what happens. But it was a good feeling. Obviously, that's a dominant performance I felt good about, but no, it was super exciting. And then obviously just our offense being on fire is always nice.
When did you realize that you were in a special situation? Did you know this was mounting the entire game? Because you said you're trying to downplay it, but you had to figure out at some point, okay, we got a real chance at this. And then the pressure might mount a little bit for those last 2 outs or so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started probably feeling it maybe the third. I was okay. It's kind of ramping up a little bit, but like I said, I try not to think about it, right? Because I'm going to be trying to over pitch and try not to get them to hit, right? But I started thinking about it the third and be okay, let's just not talk about it, don't jinx it, don't say anything like that. So, but no, it was good. It was a fun experience.
yeah, Savannah, I was going to ask you, we see so many Major League Baseball pitchers when they're in the zone like that, when they're close to a no-hitter, we'll see him go in the dugout. Nobody will talk to him.
Yeah.
They'll leave him alone.
Yeah.
Did your girls talk to you, or did they leave you alone and let you just kind of do your thing?
Yeah, they talked to me a little bit, bringing up the chair, another chair, but we never said no hitter. No one said it around me. I think that might have jinxed us a little bit. But
that's good. No one wants to talk about it. You don't want to hear that.
No.
Miranda, what was it like for you? You were in the zone with her. You're calling balls and strikes, and you're catching your frame, and you're doing your thing. So take us through the catcher's eyes.
I think through my perspective, Sal's ball, when she came out, it was moving. It was landing right where it needed to. And at first, the umpire just was not giving those pitches. And it was frustrating me as a catcher. And I know it frustrated her on that mound going that's my job. Why is this not working?
Okay.
And then once the next inning came around, they started just kind of swinging at those pitches, swinging and missing, actually. But
so they were extending the zone a little bit? The hitters were extending the zone?
The hitters were. The umpire maybe not.
Okay.
But it worked out for us because they were swinging at those pitches, and she kept putting it right where she needed to. So I just was doing my best to try to maybe bring that in a little bit and talk to the umpire all right, what do we need to do here? Because I need to get this.
That's cool. You stick up for your girl.
Oh yeah.
And so, Miranda, when you're giving Savannah the instructions and different pitches, how often does she say, "No, I don't want that one. I'm throwing this one"? How often does she say, yes?
Well, that's actually not my call.
That's not your call?
No, pitching coach is calling pitches, but there's times where we kind of have an alternative, and we'll just be depending on what's coming up, we'll revert to this pitch or something.
Yeah.
But otherwise, usually pitching coach calls it, and she seems to be okay with most of her pitches. I'm there to.
It'll be pretty obvious. I'll be no.
Yeah.
Not that one.
So in this
the other
game,
one.
did you shake at all in this game?
I don't think I had any shake-offs in that game.
Okay.
I
Not
don't
in that
remember.
game.
It was
Okay.
a lot
Good
of
question. Yeah, I was thinking the same
where
thing.
am I missing? It was a lot of hand gestures sometimes, but I don't think I said no to anything.
How often did you look over to your coach, or sometimes you're just are you like Neo in the Matrix, where everything's just green around you, and you're just focused on the play, you're focused on her and the batter?
Yeah, I'm pretty locked in. I always get some chirps from my teammates being "Can you hear me when I'm cheering for you?" I'm no, I can't hear anything. I'm just dead set on the first thing in front of me, right?
Which sometimes is center field.
Yeah.
You had to heard the ball popping in Miranda's mitt. So 13 punches, 13 strikeouts. I'm assuming that's a career high. Maybe you've done that before, but that's quite a night. So you had everything working. You didn't let any hits up. You only walked 2. Was there any point where you might be close to a perfecto?
I think if I didn't have those 2 walks in the first inning, then we would have been
early.
close. Yeah, but
Right.
I would say the first walk should have probably been a strikeout just because of the zone a little bit. And then I did have an illegal pitch called on me that second walk, so
Yes,
that was a little tough.
one of those 2 walks, I will give it to her. She should have been a strikeout, and with the zone and the illegal pitch, and that was just a quick
I know, and I
battle.
went into the game and I was like, oh, I'm not going to have any walks this game. First, lead-off batter, I'm like, no.
Like, it's fine, nobody saw that.
Yeah, I was like, pretend it didn't happen, it's fine.
14 and a perfecto is another way to look at it, right? So,
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then, by the way, Kevin, they did score 9 runs and 11 hits.
Yeah.
Miranda did go 2 for 2 with a double and 2 RBIs. So you were feeling it at the plate, weren't you, Miranda?
Yeah, I was having a good day. It took me a second to get the timing, but once I got that down, it seemed to flow a little better.
Miranda, where are you coming with this surprising pop, leading the squad in home runs with 4? We know Claire Buckley's right there; she's just getting going. But and you got a long way to go. But where's this extra muscle coming from you?
The weight room, I guess.
Yeah,
Getting jacked.
getting jacked in the weight room. Wheaties, anything? You change your diet at all? Have you changed your regimen, or is it literally just physical working out and contouring the bod, as they say?
My diet has changed a little bit, but no, I think it's just the same routine we've been doing, other than the fact that I eat a little more greens than I used to.
Okay.
It's about as much as you're going to ask about change.
Miranda, how are you able to stay so healthy? You played 44 out of 49 games last year, 19 starts. You played in every game this year. Just being able to be healthy and consistent over 2 seasons, how are you able to do that? Is it your diet? Is it your workout? Is it your mental approach toward the game of softball? What is it all about that makes you so reliable?
I would say I definitely am in the trainers almost every day, getting some sort of recovery or rub out or ice or recovery, something that. And I would say, I'm going to be honest, Advil. And, those 2 things together, you figure it out. Get back on the field and do what your team needs you to do.
Let's be honest. You've got to be extremely tough to be a catcher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a macho position, and you take a lot of nicks that people don't even know about, right? You talk about getting, bruises or whatnot. It's a warrior type position, Ed. You got to be tough back there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely bruise really easily, and a lot of my teammates are like, they'll see all my bruises, and it's like, you probably barely got tapped and you bruised, and I was like, probably.
Just part of the lifestyle.
Just part of the lifestyle, I guess, yeah.
Comes with the territory, right?
Right, that's part of the job description.
Take us through Mike Mabin a little bit. Second-year coach, third-year coach. Time flies when we're having fun, but he's really changed this program to quite a contender, if you will. What's it like playing for Coach Mabin and the rest of the staff for you, Savannah?
It's really good. Like we said last time I was on here, we have a huge coaching staff, which is super nice because there's consistency with that, and they're there to be they're at every practice. But it's super nice because he very much has a game plan. He's a very organized coach. There's not a lot of question what practice is going to look like. We have it set up before we even get there. So just very consistent, and him having a game plan for every game and truly wanting the best for us, truly wanting us to win. And I think that's really easy to play under someone like that.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Miss Hippolito?
I would agree with that. Just everything she said, and I think this season it's kind of shown that the amount of heart he's had for the game, and it's coming out in how hard he's trying to plan practice and everything he's trying to change. If we didn't do well, it was like, okay, now let's fix that now. Let's not wait on that. Let's get on top of it.
Yeah.
And the importance to him is shown. Yeah.
Miranda, when you're having games like you had La Sierra, you were 3 for 4 in those 2 games, and you followed up Westcliff 3 for 3. When you're in a zone like that and you're just hitting the ball like that, are those the kind of games that you don't want to end? When you're on a hitting streak like that and everything, you're seeing the ball so well and everything you hit goes in the outfield or over the fence?
I mean, in a game, pitchers will change. Pitches change. Pitchers and pitches change, so it's never going to be the same every time, and it's not like I never want that game to end because it's going to constantly change. Same with each game that comes along. It's more of I don't want this roll that I'm on to stop. If I'm going to keep figuring it out and staying on top of it, that's what I don't want to stop. Not so much the one game, more like that season.
Savannah, 6 wins in the last 2 seasons, so that's 12 wins. That's 6 times 2 is 12.
That's 12, yeah.
That's pretty good. If you would, How do you, for people that haven't seen you pitch, do you have a unique style? Do you come from underneath? Do you do the tap, on the midsection and then tap your thigh and then pitch? Or what's your style? Have you thought about changing it? Does it work? How did you settle on your style that you're going to tell us about?
Well, I've actually sort of modified my pitching style just a little bit. So last year I would come all the way over the top of my head, but now I'm sort of starting on my side, just trying to tweak it. I try to tweak a little bit, something every year. But I do 2 taps on my side with the ball just because I had this pitching coach once upon a time ago that said that's where my release point needs to be. So that's sort of my routine. And then also the team makes a joke that I go all the way to second base in between pitches, and that's just my time to reset. So I go on my little walk to second, and then I come all the way back. So
you take a stroll after a pitch. Each pitch, you take a stroll.
Yeah. So sometimes I get that clock a little bit. They're pitcher, you need to speed it up a little bit because I'm getting timed. But I just go on a little walk, a little reset. But yeah, that's kind of just mainly it. But just little tweaks every season just to try to maybe pitch a little bit faster, get a little bit better spin. So
Are you actually processing something in that little spin around? Are you thinking about something, preparing yourself for the next pitch?
I mean, it depends, maybe I threw what I thought was a strike and be oh gosh, that's so annoying. So then I have to walk back and then sort of reset. But so I try to do clearing my mind,
And a lot of times people say this is a silent way to protest the particular call, right? The batter will step out and go, nah, I'm not buying that one. And then someone we see it in the big leagues all the time, but sometimes you'll do that silent protest, right?
Yeah.
That's the step off the rubber and maybe you come out and talk to her a little bit. If you do have to come out and talk to her, what are some things that you might share or say to her in the middle of a game?
Yeah, what are you trying to say to me in the game?
Some stuff you can reveal.
It depends on what I'm going up to her for. Am I going up because she looks really mad at herself, or am I going up because the whole team needs a reset, or do I just need a reset, or what are we? Do we need a game plan, a first and third? What am I going over there for?
So Miranda, you can look at her and see when you need to go up and say, "Okay, girl, let's calm down," because you look like you're a little out of character. you look a little erratic right now. Let me calm you down. You can see that in her.
I can see that in Sab. Yes.
Yeah, I don't really hide my facial expressions. It's pretty obvious when I'm annoyed. I'm
If there was someone that was going to deliver a message from the bench, from the dugout or the coaching staff, who would come out to deliver the message? Or is it more of a coaching element? When they come out, when Coach Maben comes out, is he delivering some encouragement, or is he coming out with a message and a purpose to the conversation?
Sometimes, a lot of times when he comes out, it's for first and third. So just going over our game plan, right? Or
strategy.
Yeah, or if it's a pitching thing, then normally it's Coach Tatum that's hey, Sav, you kind of need to calm down a little bit. How are we going to reset? Thankfully, she hasn't really been out there too much, so that must be a good thing. But
yeah.
You got to breathe, right? You got to breathe out there. That kind of help you calm down a little bit. Namaste, right? Just keep breathing.
Yeah.
My last one for you two ladies. When it comes to fashion, I see the Oaks right here. You guys,
yes.
You guys all have
lock in.
You guys all have the Mambo style Oaks, but I'm curious. So who represents in the fashion category on and off the field? Savannah, I'll start with you. Miranda, you get to answer this question too. It's for both of you. And you can say yourself if you like, but that's okay, whatever. But who's got on and off the field? Who's running the fashion part?
The fashion. Trying to think on the field. Who's I'm thinking about Oakley's, right? Because we got a lot of freshmen too that are fashioning those. But I really like Abby's Oakley's. Yeah.
Those are some good
off the field. She's got her little shades on because we're trying not to get the wrinkles for 24, right? So.
This is Abby Cobalt.
Oh yeah, Abby Cobalt. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. On the field, I would just think, honestly, I think Buck, because she's usually got the latest.
Claire?
Yeah, Claire Buckley, because she's usually got the latest cleats or the latest, Under Armour. I don't know.
Yeah.
She seems to show up with the newest thing all the time.
I feel like our team overall has really good fashion because we got a lot of cool sunnies,
Oh, yeah.
No,
sunnies.
we're just swaggy,
Oh, yeah,
how
we
it is.
call them sunnies. Yes.
Hey, I asked the question because, Miranda, there's a picture of you on your bio on the website, and you're down in the stance. You got the helmet on, and it looks like you're looking left, probably getting a call from the coach. But you seem like you were looking the part. It was fashionable on the field, I might say.
I appreciate that.
Very nice.
I try. I really try.
Yeah.
Ladies, the last one for me, you won 6 straight. It's got to feel good to be winning. You obviously you're enjoying each other. You're loving each other's company on the field and off the field. So what does it mean to be playing your best softball right now? Winners of 6 straight. You got Park University on Wednesday for another doubleheader, but being able to win and playing really good softball right now. Miranda, you go ahead, and then Savannah, you can follow her up.
I would say that we definitely picked it up, but I think we could still do better. Mm-hmm. I've seen our team do better, and when we started off really strong and then kind of tailed off and then we picked it up a little bit, it's like, no, we can pick it up more. So, I mean, it was nice to see us kind of go in that general direction, but I personally think we can pick it up a little more.
Yeah, I think this weekend was really good, just like even especially for like our bats, like just raking in those like runs, and I think that was sort of like a confidence booster. So hopefully that carries into our next few games, but I don't want to like jinx us with like a winning streak or anything like that, but definitely staying hot, having fun, like remembering obviously like it's not all about winning, but we're having a lot more fun when we are winning. So yes. Just sort of having that mindset going forward.
And what did that no-hitter do for the team?
I mean, I think it was like a little bit of a fun spark, you know, like that's always fun when your like pitcher's doing well and sort of like supporting them.
I think in the sense it takes the pressure off of hitting when she's doing so well. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it's the other way around. When hitting's doing really well, it takes the pressure off the pitching staff.
Yeah, and in that game, there was like our defense was on and our offense was on. So then we were just like feeling hot, so.
And that no-hitter and what it did to Savannah, it lowered her ERA to 1.35.
Yep.
Well, you actually pitched after that, right?
Yeah.
You pitched 2-hitter the next game.
And then she had a save after that. But, yeah, it's just all in a day's work.
Yeah. What's the mindset for you when you go? Again, we talked about it. You're going to go out there and get outs. So whether you start or you come in relief, any difference for you?
Sort of just having the same mindset, right? Because I'm kind of playing like this role pitcher where I'm starting, sometimes I'm relieving, sometimes I'm closing. Just having the same mindset that I'm there to like do a job, like try to get maybe as many strikeouts as possible, right? Or really try to get outs and try to limit those runs going in. So I try to keep just the same like fiery spirit going in, but I try not to change the mindset too much. Just go there, do a job.
I want to point this out because that time of game in that no-hitter was 1 hour and 36 minutes. That's for you, Payne Moses, 1 hour and 36 minutes. So they were basically packing up at 12:36 that day. That's pretty good. You gotta appreciate that game time. Ed, what else do you have for these ladies that were fantastic?
Oh, I was just showing Miranda, like the pictures you were talking about on her bio. She looked really locked in and intense. I was going to show you the picture that Kevin was talking about, but it flipped to another picture. And you look way more locked in, but you're like, I don't like that picture.
Yeah, that one that was
like
there, actually that was taken at practice, and I was like, oh, no, the game uniform and it just looked way better than the one you just showed me. And I was like,
Yeah. Sometimes those pictures be doing us a little dirty now that we're talking about it. I don't know who's picking those out, but that's not doing us justice.
Yeah. Wow. Gotta look at some more detail on those photos.
Look at the face a little bit, be like, dude, we want that?
There it is. That's the one.
She a little better. That's from last year.
Come on, that's a good shot.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good shot.
Yeah.
That one,
Yeah. That picture they chose for me, that was wrong. That was wrong.
Tim's going to update it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, now I know who to fight.
Update those photos with this year's because the white gear looks so much better with the Oaks versus my red gear and my light gray shirt.
The whole saying, if you look good, you feel good,
you play good.
You play good, yeah.
It's facts, right?
Mm-hmm. It's so
That's
true.
so real.
Yeah.
It's really, it's really real.
We're all about that. That's Savannah Smith, and that's Miranda Hippolito. Thank you, ladies, for your candor here tonight.
Thank you, ladies.
A lot of fun. You brought some energy to the table, and which everybody brought energy tonight, too, so it was a lot of fun. Coach Bell, he's tough to top right there. We had Brian Bell on. He's always a ton of fun. So go get some wins at Park, and then continue this incredible run you're on. 6 straight works pretty good.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
ladies.
Thank you,
Appreciate
ladies.
it.
Absolutely.
It's been a fantastic program, ladies and gentlemen. We certainly appreciate all of our guests, these 2 ladies to my left, and, of course, Brian Bell, and then the fellows Sam Buckley and Emery Young joined us in the segment number 1. Until next time, so long for now. Thanks for watching.